Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl L to the D to the L to the D to the L to the D to the Ladessa. What's good? What's crackin'? It's your girl Ladessa and welcome back to my channel. There is this little red button down below. It says subscribe. If you would do me a favor, just be so kind. Hit that. My poo-pooms are a little lopsided, but that's okay. And then let's continue to get to know each other down in the comment section. And if you want to know when I call, you have to turn your ringer on. So turn on that notification bell and let's continue to be friends. This face, Do Jesus, is brought to you by ColourPop No Filter Foundation and ColourPop's No Filter Concealer. My lips are courtesy of the ColourPop and Ellery collaboration in CeeLo with a little BFF3 liner. My eyes, though they look amazing, are also brought to you by ColourPop thanks to their Super Shock shadows. Throw that whole situation away. I made it work, but throw the whole situation away. I hate them. They're horrible. I don't like them. Maybe they are better suited for like pro makeup artists, but I think I got skills. My skills have come a long way. And yeah, I can't do nothing with the Super Shock. So the little dip in of It's My Ray Ray palette for my transition and my highlight. Okay, so the category is bitch, I look good. All right, so let's get into Pose. It's season 1, episode 5. I have all my notes, but I forgot to write down the title, so give me a minute. All right, so Mother's Day, Pose season 1, episode 5. It starts off with a bit of a flashback with Blanca walking her first ball. She had just apparently separated from her family and walked out into the world, leaving Mateo, which was Blanca's birth name, leaving Mateo behind and walking straight into Blanca. She had this little short coiffed wig and this best way to describe it is this Gone with the Wind dressed on with these little kitten heels, and she didn't really know how to do her makeup and the stubble was coming through. And Pray Tell, the announcer, was like, no, it wasn't even Pray Tell, it was some other guy, the announcer. He read her for filth. But Blanca is a strong personality. She was like, I don't care what it is you all think of me. Can I get my scores? So she had a very low score in comparison to all of the other realness that was walking in the ball, but she held her head high. And the announcer was like, who is your mother? And Blanca was like, I don't have a mother or a father. And he was like, clearly. And so after it was over, the other queens that walked in the ball were trying to rip Blanca to shreds about her look and how dare she be so secure in herself to walk in the ball knowing that she couldn't pull off the female realness. And then here comes Electra Abundance coming down from her perch to come down and save this little girl. And she read the other queens for filth and told them all that they can get back to the track from which they came and leave little Blanca alone. So we see this moment where Blanca and Electra finally come together and how the relationship started. Blanca hadn't eaten in quite some time, and Electra picked up on that. So she took her down to a diner and fed her, and Blanca gave her some of her backstory about leaving her parents' home, her mom's home, and she was real candid with Elektra and was like, look, I just want to be accepted. And so I almost cried. But when Blanca said, so you want to be my mother? And Elektra, in grand dame fashion, she was like, no, I am your mother. And that's how their relationship came to be. So later on in the episode, we find out that Blanca's mom dies. She goes to her sister's house and confronts her. It was like, how come you didn't tell me mommy died? Because the sister didn't call her and tell her. It was a friend from back in the day called. And she says, how come you didn't tell me mommy died? And she was like, nobody wants you here. And how come you weren't there for mommy? And how am I supposed to explain to my daughter that her uncle is now gay and dressed up in women's clothing? And so Blanca's like, look, she's still my mother too. And I will be there on Thursday for the funeral. And her sister says, nobody wants you around. So it cuts to Blanca and Pretel having dinner. And Blanca tells Pretel that the most memorable moments that she has with her mother is when they cook together. And so the mother didn't appear to be, in the way that they tell the backstory about the mom, she wasn't very affectionate and she didn't express love and things like that. But the moments that Blanca had with her mom when she was younger was in the kitchen. All right. So the other storyline is Stan and Angel. Angel has moved out of the apartment that Stan put her in, and I guess trying to push him to leave his wife. Side chick 101. The man does not leave the wife. Side chick 101A. If you gonna leave with something. So Stan has set her up in this high-rise, really nice apartment, plushed out for, 1980 standards in New York City. She gonna leave the apartment and go back to Blanca's, roach piss in the hallway, piss in the hallway apartment. And when Blanca confronts her about it, like, what is the problem? What are you doing back here? And Angel says, because I'm teaching him a lesson. He's gonna have to pick and choose. Okay, think that if you want to. But anyway, Blanca is being the mother that she is, and it's Saturday morning, and it's time to clean up. But there wasn't no music playing. There should have been like some Betty Wright or Teddy Pendergrass or something in the background. That's what motivates us black folks, to get cleaning on a Saturday is a good old R&B track list or playlist. But anyway, so I love this show because it really brings out the family in the characters and letting you know that even if your own family turns away from you, there's family for you out there. You just have to find it, or they have to find you. So in episode 3, was it episode 3? No, episode 4, which I didn't review. What's her name? Elektra Abundance has decided that she is going to go ahead with her reassignment surgery, despite the fact that her male suitor, Detective Stabler, does not want her to get the reassignment surgery, because for him, it's something very fascinating about Elektra still having the member there. He says that maybe it's just something that is there's a mystery to it, and he doesn't know why he's drawn to it, but if she gets the surgery, he's gonna cut her off. But Elektra is pure in the fact that she wants to be a whole woman, genitalia included. So she's in the hospital and no one has come to see her because she is a total biatch. And so the children of the House of Abundance have been on about their business. They ain't got no time for Elektra and her selfish ways, so nobody has come to see her. So much so that Elektra bought her own flowers. But Blanca shows up, and Electra is still like being all bougie. Hold on now, ain't nobody came to see you, ain't nobody thinking about you, and you still gonna be nasty. So she's like, well, what are you doing here? And they have a really, Blanca and Electra have a really great conversation. And Blanca says something that wells my eyes up one more time, because she wasn't able to be a loving daughter to her own mother. And she was like, at this stage in my life, you're the only mother that I have. And that really set the light bulb on for Electra, because when she got out of the hospital, when her children came home, she had a nice spread for them and got them like some designer goods from Saks and Bergdorf's, for them to walk in the Mother's Day ball. So hopefully Electra has really had her come to Jesus moment in the way that she treats people. What else? So James Van Der Beek. Yeah, James Van Der Beek from Dawson's Creek fame. I don't know his name. I don't like his character, so I'm not interested in knowing his character's name, which means he is really doing the damn thing, because I cannot stand him. Anyway, so he is Stan Angel's boo. He is Stan's boss, and Stan keeps, you know, elevating on the job, and Van Der Beek feels like that should not be happening, because he brought Stan under his wing. But he shows up, because he's real arrogant, real pompous. He shows up to a meeting late, and it just so happens that your president, Donald Trump, was at the meeting, and Van Der Beek missed it because he highfalutin, coking, and side-piecing his own self. He comes and finds out that Stan has got a promotion, and he's like, oh, you got a promotion and you didn't tell me about it? And how long have you been working on trying to climb up the ranks without my assistance? And has the nerve to tell him every move that you make in pursuing higher heights is taking money out of my pocket. Hold on, mother father. I need some money too. So James Van Der Beek, Dawson's Creek, Watootsies himself down to Stan's house and busts Stan out and lets his wife know, Patty, that's her name? Yeah, Patty, that that Stan has a side piece. She goes down to the apartment that Stan has put Angel up in and is trying to confront Angel. And Angel is moved out because, like I said, she is going to try to teach Stan a lesson. So she gets in contact with the building manager and asks him, can she see whose name is on the lease, and or on the rental agreement. And he first says, well, you know what, that's confidential information. And then she says, basically, I'm his wife, this is my name, and I want to see if my husband's name is on the lease. So he is a father of 4 young women, and he's like, you know what, I would want my daughters to know. Are you ready? She says, I'm ready. And he hands her the folder. She sees her husband's name. So then she gets ready for a girls' night out, and we think she's really going out, and she's got like a car service and everything, and she goes to Blanca's house looking for Angel to confront her, because the building manager gave her Angel's forwarding address. And Poppy, who is one of Blanca's children at the house of Evangelista, he's like, hey, are you the police? When he comes in contact with Patty, and she's like, no. He was like, look, I only got weed, I don't push the hard stuff. She's like, no, is Angel here? And he was like, well, she's down at the ball. And she was like, well, I can take you, my car's outside. So all Poppy knows is he's getting ready to be down to the ball in a limo. So he takes her down, and when she pulls up and she sees all of the fishiness, she's kind of like, what is going on? And when she's walking through to get to the ballroom, all of the queens are like, oh, come on, cunt. Who did your nose? Look at that woman realness. Who brought this fish up in here? Just all the little lingo. And right as she walks in, the ball is going on, and it's time for the houses to walk. And so Electra Abundant, she is doing her thing. She's got drapery and all kind of like capes and stuff going on. And she presents her children, and they strut and do their thing at the ball and all of their high designer digs. And then it's time for the house of Evangelista to walk. And Patty catches eyes with Angel. And she, even though it's clear to her, she knows that this is what it is. And there's a strong possibility that Angel may have a member. She's in awe of Angel's beauty, because Angel can pass. She has this beautiful hair. Her chin is sculpted. Her skin is beautiful. And Angel is just gorgeous. And the way that they slow and pan the go-between between Patty and Angel is like, oh my God. One other scene that I forgot before I end this was the funeral scene. How could I forget it? So Blanca, when she was talking to Prey Tale, and he always has Blanca's house. He always has their back. And he's telling her as they are eating that that's your mom. And so you don't be concerned. You don't need to be concerned about what your family thinks and what they have to say about you. You need to go make your peace with your mother, because I wish I would have made my peace with my dad before he died. And so he's like, look, we are a family. We all we got. And we are all going to go down to the funeral with you. So Blanca goes, and of course when she walks in, everybody's looking, and then there's an aunt that says, is that Mateo? And then they start speaking Spanish amongst each other, and Blanca walks up to the casket while her sister is there crying, and the sister says, what are you doing here? And she was like, this is my mother, and I deserve to say goodbye. And then I guess it's her brother or the sister's husband. I'm not really sure what the relationship is between this guy that walks up. He says to Blanca, you need to leave. Nobody wants you here. And then Blanca's sister tells him to calm down and, just let Blanca say this is what she says, let him say his piece so he can leave. And at that time, Prey Tale walks up, because he can see that there's some friction going on, and he walks up to the guy and says, kindness costs you nothing, and she needs to say goodbye to her mother. She deserves that. And so you see Blanca have her last moment with her mother, and shares with her mom that she's a mother now and how her kids get on her nerves and everything. And she makes her peace, and then she gets ready to walk out. And another one of the aunt was like, oh my God, I can't believe Mateo has turned into a transvestite and would disgrace the family like that. And so Prey Tale, who always got the Blanca's back, walks up to them and reads them and lets them know that Blanca is more than a woman than they ever could be. And so that read sparks something in another aunt, who tells Blanca, you know what, you need to come to the house and come get yourself something to eat. And basically kind of connecting with her. When Blanca gets there, she just goes by herself. She doesn't go with Prey Tale and the boys. Her and the aunt are connecting, and they're reminiscing about the times that the mom and Blanca had. And even though she wasn't affectionate, the love was there. She just, from a different time, a different generation, and she just didn't understand what Blanca was going through. So she didn't really know how to be there for Blanca. And then she observes how skinny Blanca is and says, no, get in that kitchen and get you something to eat. At least take a plate home. And remember I told you when Prey Tale and Blanca were talking, Blanca was sharing with Prey Tale that the moments that really brought her and her mom together is when they were in the kitchen. And Blanca's fixing a plate. Excuse me. fixing a plate, and she turns around and notices her mom's recipe book. And while she's looking through the recipes, she just kind of like, you know, her heart wells up, and she wants to take the recipe book with her. And so when she closes the cabinet and has the recipe book in her hands, the guy that was talking real slick to her, brother or brother-in-law, I'm not really sure, and her sister are at the kitchen doorway, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And Blanca says, "I want mommy's recipe book." And he's like, "Well, we haven't decided what we're going to do with it." And the camera pans to Blanca's sister having on a ring, and Blanca says, "Well, you haven't decided what you wanted to do with this cookbook, but you're already wearing mommy's jewelry. Like, that's real rich." And then the guy, he just gets enraged, and he starts manhandling Blanca and throws her up against the wall. And Blanca kind of cowards under to his aggression. And I just wish that Blanca, still being a man, would have gotten his ass. I mean, not being a man, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, gotten his ass. And that didn't happen. And so the second to the last scene, Blanca runs out, and the second to the last scene is Blanca's sister shows up while Blanca and Damon are in the kitchen having their own mother and son moment in the kitchen. And the sister shows up and says, "You know what, I lied. Mommy did love you." Again, from a different generation, she didn't understand what Blanca was going through. But here's the recipe book. And Blanca says, "Well, don't you and your daughter want to have some memories or use the cookbook?" And she was like, "Me and my daughter will make our own mommy and daughter memories." And Blanca invites her in. She declines, but then she turns around and tells Blanca. And so that scene was like really touching. And Blanca and Damon were making pancakes. And as Blanca is going through the recipe book, just kind of reminiscing, she has a flashback of when she was a little boy and her mom in the kitchen, and she asked her mom, "Will you love me forever?" And the mom, of course, says, "I will love you forever." And while she's flipping through, she finds the pancake recipe, because her and Damon are making pancakes for Mother's Day. And then they go, and she goes into the kitchen, and then her and Damon have a moment, and she helps Damon with the pancakes. So that was a touching moment. And then the grand finale before it goes off is, remember I told you Stan's wife, Patty, shows up to the ball looking to confront Angel. And Angel and Elektra are walking out of the ball, because of course Elektra won. She wins everything. She walks out of the ball, and they're walking and talking, and Elektra's rolling her red wagon of trophies back home, and they're having just a little innocent banter. And then as she turns around, she's confronted with Patty, and Patty says, "I'm Patty, Stan's wife." And just shock and awe and embarrassment rolls over Angel's face, and that's how it ends. So I cannot wait for episode 6 to see how that confrontation is going to go down. And that's it. I hope you are watching Pose. I hope that you get an opportunity to really stretch yourself. Speaking of Pose, apparently there aren't a lot of people watching. If that lifestyle is not necessarily your thing, I get it. But there's nothing like good storytelling. There's nothing like good TV, and there's nothing like good human interaction, and remembering that despite all that's going on, we are created inherently good. And so for that alone, watch Pose. It comes on Sunday nights on FX. It's been my joy hanging out with you. Don't forget to like this video, give it a big thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and comment below. Let's continue to talk. Are you watching Pose? If you are, again, let's talk about it in the comment section below. And always remember to pack light, because bag lady, bag man, you are going to hurt your back dragging all them bags like that. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.